Good evening. Welcome to Current Affairs. In the year 1950, immediately after the commencement of the Constitution of India, the government of India felt very clearly that there is a necessity to have a commission in India where it can give advices to the government of India with respect to plans. So, in this scenario, with this particular background, in the year 1950, Planning Commission was established. And this planning commission, of course, it is no more existing now. But otherwise, the commission that was established in the year 1950 continued for a long period of time till the end of the year 2014. And that same planning commission, it started giving the plans for India with respect to whatever you call 5-year plans, annual plans, clear. And one time, so there was a plan called rolling plan. So every plan was given to India by the Planning Commission, and the Planning Commission has gained so much of credibility during the time, and it became a power center in India because it is directly headed by none other than the Prime Minister of India. Meaning, the Prime Minister is considered to be the ex officio chairman of the Planning Commission. So, what are all the plans we have today? Even today, also, so we have a plan that is a 12th plan. Every plan was designed by the Planning Commission. Clear? But where is this Planning Commission mentioned? Is it a constitutional body? Is it a statutory body? Answer is no. Planning Commission is a non-statutory authority. During our Indian polity classes, I made it very, very clear. A non-statutory authority is an authority which is established by taking a decision in the cabinet. So cabinet is nothing but the cabinet ministers, all the ministers sitting together, headed by the Prime Minister of India. They took a decision and they have established planning commission, and that is a non-statutory body. So though it is not constitutional, though it is not a statutory body, so many powers are there in the planning commission. So and it became a power center in India. Power center in India, and the only reason is that it was headed by the Prime Minister of India. And the years were going on. Right, so right, that is the reason why. So from 1950s, we reached 60s, 70s, 90s, 80s, 90s, and finally, so when we reached the year 2014, a new government has come into the picture, and a person with lots of experience of working as a chief minister for Gujarat, so he became the Prime Minister of India. And when he was the chief minister for Gujarat, so he was facing so many problems with respect to the relation between the central government and the state governments. So it's not so easy to get the things done, the work done by the state from the central government. And he felt during the time, so the relations should not be like this, and the relations must be strengthened. Then only the spirit of the federalism should come into the picture. And when I say federation, it is a division of powers between central government and state governments. Until and unless central government and state governments are not working together, the development of the nation will not be possible. So this was the most important point that was realized by the Prime Minister of today, that is Mr. Narendra Modi, and he used his experience working as a chief minister. That is the reason why, after he becomes the Prime Minister of India, very soon, so he abolished the commission called Planning Commission. And in the place of the Planning Commission, we got a new body that is called NITI Aayog, National Institution for Transforming India. So this is a new institution we have. Meaning is simple. Planning Commission has been replaced with the NITI Aayog. I think every one of you heard this particular institution, and even during our classes also, so many times I was referring to with this particular institution, NITI Aayog. But what is this NITI Aayog? Meaning the approach for the development has been changed. Approach for the development in India has been changed, and that is the reason why NITI Aayog has come into the picture. So today you have a chairman and you have a vice chairman. Again, the chairman is none other than the Prime Minister of India. But the most beautiful thing with respect to NITI Aayog is that The chief ministers of all the states are the members in this NITI Aayog. In its previous body, in its precursor in Planning Commission, chief ministers were not the members. And the Planning Commission was completely central government body. So today, NITI Aayog is not a central body, but all the chief ministers of various states are the members in this NITI Aayog. Clear regarding that NITI Aayog? Every time it comes to the news, and very recently also you have seen a meeting of NITI Aayog has been taken place in New Delhi. Clear? So regarding that NITI Aayog, I have some information to share with you, and I'll be sharing that information with you. First, one simple question is there. I'll show you that question. I know that you will be answering that question very nicely and very easily, very comfortably. Clear? Right. So not just this one, my dear close friends, whatever the examination you are writing, I want you to be so comfortable and confident in writing the examination. Clear? That's the reason why. Just to follow me in the same manner what you are doing now. Take it for granted, so you will get the success. Look at this. Who of the following is the chairman of NITI Aayog? President, Vice President, Prime Minister, or the Minister for Rural Development? As already you know, the answer should be the Prime Minister. Look at this. Look at this. It stands for National Institution for Transforming India. It is a premier think tank of Government of India, where it facilitates a working together of a union and states as equals. See here, unfortunately, since the beginning, what happened in India? It's a very, very unfortunate situation that took place in India. We have a central government. Starting from, the time of this independence, for a quite long period of time, up to the year 1967, the same party was present at the central level, and in majority of the states, the same party is also ruling. That's the reason why during the time when Nehru was the prime minister, so many Congress ruling states were also there. Since the prime minister also belonged to your own party, to get the things done for those chief ministers of those days, it was so easy. But in the year 1967, the scenario has been changed. Congress continues to be there in the power at the central level, but in majority of the states, the Congress party has lost the powers. Has lost the power. The opposition parties have come to the power in various states in India. That is the beginning of the struggle. That is the beginning of the struggle. And the idea and the new idea of the non-cooperation has been developed there. What do you mean by this? If there is a political party in the government in a particular state, and if that party is our own party, we will support, otherwise we don't support. Clear? In so many classes I was telling you, financially the states are very, very weak. Even today also, the states depend on the central government. If central government delays, or if the central government is giving insufficient funds, then what will happen to the development of the states? The development of the state will be definitely retarded. Right? So whatever, however may be efficient the chief minister is, however may be the efficient the administration at the state level, but development is not possible because of the lack of financial resources. So this is what exactly happened during the time. That is the reason why, so wherever the opposition party is there, the Congress party has refused to cooperate. That is the reason why in majority of the states, the development has been retarded. Of course, corruption is also there. That's a different thing. Let's leave it. But this is what happened. But over a period of time, what happened? Change of guard took place even in the central government. Instead of Congress party, non-Congress parties also started forming the governments. And they started doing the same thing what the Congress party has done. Congress party did not cooperate with the governments at the state level if that government belongs to some other political party. And the new government at the central level also started behaving in the same manner. If it is Congress party at the state level, they started not cooperating with that. So meaning is simple. So this is a method of retaliation. Clear, this is a method of taking the revenge. But ultimately, who are the losers? Ultimately, it is a democracy that is losing. It is the people of the country, these are the losers. Clear, it continued for a long period of time. That is the reason why, instead of all the states coming together and collectively bargaining with the central government, each state separately bargains with the central government. If you belong to our party, then we cooperate, we release the funds. If you belong to some other political party, also we release the funds, but with delay, but insufficient funds. This is what happens. So, in order to avoid this, and when it comes to the planning commission, also, the body is meant for preparing the plans for the whole nation. Whole nation. Sometimes some states requirements may be accepted. Sometimes majority of the times it was not accepted. But how do you stop it? That is the reason why new idea has come into the picture. You have to make the states part in the making of the plans. And the result is the NITI Aayog. That is the reason why on August 15th, 2014, during the flag hoisting time, during that speech, the Prime Minister made it very, very clear that Planning Commission has been scrapped. In that, we are going to create a new body, and a new body is NITI Aayog, that came into the picture on January 1st, 2015, and even today also it is functioning. Right? So meaning the functions have been redefined. Redefined, so to provide more effectiveness. Clear? Now, I'll show you the document. Please look at this. Look at this. It facilitates the working together of union and states as equals. Now, see here, when we say the concept of federation, it is not just the division of the powers. It is not just the division of the powers. Clear? So you are not getting separated and ruling differently. But federation concept is nothing but, though the constitution has divided the powers between central government and the state governments, they are expected to cooperate with each other so that the development process will be strengthened. And in order to strengthen the development process, you have to look towards the welfare of the people, irrespective of the political party present at the state level and the central level. Come out and cooperate with each other. Cooperate with each other, so that what will happen, you are strengthening the democratic system where the people of the nation are being empowered. So this is the core concept that was missing all these days. I'm not saying that the government does not know all these things. The government may know, but when it comes to the effectiveness, implementation, and this was very much missing. Right? Now, so what is that you understood? Federalism is not just a separation, division of the powers. It is not just a division of the powers. You have to strengthen each other. You have to empower. Clear, you have to cooperate. Look at this next. It facilitates the working together of a union and the states as equals. It provides critical knowledge, innovation. I am talking about NITI Aayog. It provides critical knowledge, innovation, and entrepreneurial support to the country. And this is also a repository of research on good governance and best practices. See here, when we speak in terms of the governance, for the last 3 days in our regular batch of IAS, I was speaking only on this, the concept of governance in the morning, right? For the last 3 days, even today also discussed the same thing with them. So when we speak in terms of the governance, this is nothing but you are redefining the role of the government. You are promoting the concept of impartiality. You are also promoting the concept of transparency and also accountability. The more transparency, more accountability should be there for better governance. Government is different from the governance. Government is a structure. I am talking to you newcomers here. Government is a structure where it functions. It delivers some things. But whatever the government is delivering, if that delivery is not effective, then there is no governance. That's the reason why in majority of the cases, the people in the country are not happy because there is no proper governance. Reason may be laziness on the part of the government. Reason may be red tapeism, that is nothing but this delay, right? And otherwise, the concept of corruption is always there. That will also delay the whole process. Am I clear? That is the reason why over a period of time, the World Bank has also come out with a concept called governance. So in the governance, you are supposed to go in for the capacity building, create the new institutions, permit private parties to take part in the development, and encourage the civil society. Ultimately, what you are doing, you are trying to empower the individuals who are present in the nation. If the government is not doing that, that government is considered to be of no use. That's the reason why nowadays in every country, including India, most of the times we speak in terms of the governance. Am I clear? For example, here, look at, go back to the year 2014, the Prime Minister of India, of course, when Dr. Manmohan Singh was also the Prime Minister of India, so he was also using the word governance very frequently. The President Pranab Mukherjee also uses the word, this governance. And the present Prime Minister, when he assumed the office in the year 2014, so he made it very, very clear, less government and more governance, meaning improving the quality of the services. That is the reason why new institutions will be created, new policies will be created, new effectiveness will be created, and new implementation methods will come into the picture. Ultimately, see that the objectives of the welfare society are realized. Am I clear? So, NITI Aayog is trying to promote the concept of the governance. Am I clear? Yes. Now, once again, I will open the document. Look at this. So it will monitor, coordinate, and ensure globally accepted sustainable development goals. You might have heard these words, sustainable development goals. Previously, till last year, it was called Millennium Development Goals. Later, the name has been changed to Sustainable Development Goals. Okay, they are called SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals. They are aimed at eradicating all forms of poverty. I am talking about the globally accepted SDGs, not just India. Clear? India also signed this agreement where it will be implementing the concept of Millennium Development Goals. Now it is called Sustainable Development Goals. And this is basically aiming at eradicating all forms of poverty. Am I clear? It is not restricted just to India, but whole world is also suffering like this, and there is a necessity for better system throughout the world. Clear? For example, here, even today also this is very much there in the news. Look at this. Previously, the Planning Commission was not used to interfere in all these things. Look at this. Recently, the NITI Aayog has recommended to replace Medical Council of India, MCI, with the National Medical Commission. Right? So let me not go into the details of this at this stage, but otherwise, with respect to Medical Council of India, you might have heard that so many malpractices have been taken place. Very, very unfortunate. All right, so this is not the first time I'm talking about this. So many times it happened, and that is the reason why the NITI Aayog has suggested that it should be replaced. Let it should be replaced with a what is called a National Medical Commission. Very soon it is going to happen. The entire system is going to be revamped. Shall I use another words? Clear? This is a concept of redefining the role of the medical council in the form of the National Medical Commission. Are you trying to promote the concept of governance or not? Answer is yes. Am I clear? Can you remember? Especially for all of you, my dear close friends, who are writing the main examination this year in the month of December, civil services main. The paper 2 is very important. Let me make it very clear. Of course, every paper is very important, and paper number 2 is more important. That talks about the governance. The better and more you understand the concept of governance, that will help you to get more marks in paper number 2. Plus this idea, this knowledge, and this exposure of paper number 2 will also give you more marks in other papers without your knowledge. Clear? Out of my experience, I am telling you very clearly. That's the reason why kindly don't neglect the concept of the governance which is mentioned in paper number 2. Is that okay? That's the reason why. So even for the last 3 days for my regular batch students also, I was telling the same thing. For paper number 2, we have a specified syllabus that is given. It is not just reading. It is not just reading the syllabus that is present in the paper, but you need to apply it. Application part is very important with respect to the governance. That is the reason why for the last 3 days, I was spending all my time only on the governance. Right? So to make them very clear about the importance of that, that is not just useful for getting marks in paper number 2, but it will also be helpful to you in other papers. Plus after you become an administrator, that is going to fetch you more effectiveness. Important. Okay, pay very good attention on this. Now let me move further. Look at this. Right. Just a moment. Yes. You must be knowing this name. Pushpa Kamal Dahal, who is popularly known as Prachanda. Regarding Prachanda, I spoke to you many times during our current affairs sessions. Hopefully, you remember this. Who is popularly known as Prachanda will sworn in as the Prime Minister of which of the following countries very soon. This is going to happen. Clear? You might have heard this word. He was a Maoist leader. They were fighting against the government for a long period of time. Later, there is an agreement between the government. There is an agreement between the government and this Maoist, and they have surrendered. And the government has accepted that no cases will be filed against them, and they will be integrated with the so-called the civil society. So by fulfilling the promises, those that particular Maoists, they have become the part of the this society in that country, and that country is Nepal. Clear? And regarding that country, they have they have rewritten their constitution. So many things have happened. Clear? And regarding that country, so we have a question. At this stage, I don't want to go into the details of all this, but otherwise, direct question, important for the examination. So he will be, not it happened, he will be swearing in as the Prime Minister of which of the following country? Answer is Nepal. Okay, right. Answer is B. Look at this. Otherwise, what happened? It was a KP Sharma Oli who resigned as a Prime Minister, and he blamed India. See here, after revamping this constitution, after this several discussions and meetings, finally, Oli became the Prime Minister of Nepal. And otherwise, since beginning, so India and Nepal, they have very good ties. But especially after Mr. Oli became the prime minister, the things have been changed. And somehow Nepal is trying to shift more towards Chinese. So there was a competition between India and China during that time. And now what happens? Mr. Oli says that in his resignation, this there is a hand of India behind this. India says no, we have nothing to do with that. Clear? Of course, India has got its own concerns because of the various issues, especially Mauritius. But this Indian importance was reduced during that time. But now what happened? And there was a no confidence motion that has been moved against Mr. Oli, and he sensed that he is going to be defeated. And anyway, so he has to submit the resignation letter. That's the reason why before the no confidence motion is introduced, he submitted the resignation and he stepped down. Now, so the way has been paved for Pushpa Kamal Dahal, so to become the prime ministers. Clear? Prachanda is, of course, he served as the prime minister even before also. Now he is going to become the prime minister of Nepal once again. Okay, remember the name? That is Pushpa Kamal Dahal. Okay, now. So KP Sharma Oli resigned before parliament passes a no contest motion against him. Prachanda, who is Prachanda? Just now I told you, I have shown you the question. Pushpa Kamal Dahal is a chairman of a Communist Party of Nepal. Okay. Next. Look at this. GST, Goods and Services Tax. Right. Okay. So in an elaborate manner, I'll be discussing this GST with you later. Of course, I have already done it in our previous classes. But the latest thing, very soon, GST is going to become a reality. After it becomes reality, then I'll have a complete discussion, including the background, which I have already done. But the latest thing is that for quite a long period of time, there were so many hurdles that are coming in the way of the GST. It stands for Goods and Services Tax. Clear? But kindly remember this one. In India, the constitution has provided so many taxes. Obviously, there is a lot of confusion with respect to so many indirect taxes. So GST is a mechanism where so you are clubbing all the indirect taxes that are present at the state level and central level. Clear? It's one of the very good things, but the states were expressing lots of fear that they are going to lose the revenue. That is the reason why previously the government has promised that whatever you are going to lose, if you are going to lose for 3 years, that will be compensated by the central government. Clear? And after 3 years, automatically the revenue of the states will also increase. How? I'll tell you. I will give the calculations. I'll tell you. Right? So, but today what happened is that the latest one is that uh, Congress party and other opposition parties are pressing for some modifications in the GST bill. And luckily, what happened, it has been accepted by the government of India, and the changes are going to take place. And of course, by August 12th, I believe, by August 12th, the parliament session is coming to an end. Before that, we expect that the GST bill will be passed by both the houses of the parliament, since there is no opposition from anybody, because the government has agreed for certain modifications. What are they? I'll show you the document now. Please look at the document. Look at this. The Union Cabinet cleared changes in the GST Constitutional Amendment Bill. The first one is that it has dropped 1% manufacturing tax, which was demanded by opposition parties. Yes, it is accepted. It also providing guarantee to compensate states for any revenue loss in the first 5 years. From 3, it became 5 years of rollout of the proposed indirect tax regime. So once this will come into operation, starting from that particular day, 5 years, for 5 years, central government is going to compensate the state government if there is any revenue loss to the states. Clear? Next one, The cabinet also decided to include the constitutional amendment bill that any dispute between states and the central will be adjudicated by GST Council, which will have representation from both the center and the states. Hope you are getting this. And very soon, this uh, GST is going to become a reality. For that matter, so even in, I also feel uh, for this GST personally. Every time the finance minister makes it very clear that from next financial year onwards, the GST is going to be implemented. And the situation was also so cool during that time. Government is ready, opposition parties are also ready. Maybe some minor, oppositions may be there, so that can be overcome. That can be overcome. And whenever the finance minister is saying that, obviously it takes some time because the bill has to be passed by the parliament, a constitution amendment bill. Later, it should also be accepted by at least half the state legislatures. It's not a problem now. That is going to happen it anyway, right? And then it will go to the president of India. President will sign, and then it will become an act. Later, notification will be issued, right? The meaning is simple, that will be notified in the government gazette, and from that date, this act will be implemented. Clear? This is what is happening, in fact. So every year, finance minister, since the times, this Vajpayee government was present in India, so we are just hearing. Every year we are just waiting that from next financial year onwards, it is going to be implemented. Clear? And for the last 2 years also, the things are so, they are looking so cozy and comfortable that it is going to be implemented. But because of various reasons, it was not implemented. It seems that now it is going to become a reality. If everything is going in a fine manner, so probably by next year, from April 1st onwards, 2017, GST will be a reality. Clear? After it is passed in the parliament, again I will come back to you and I'll give you the complete details with respect to the GST Constitution Amendment Bill. Right? I'm going further. Look at this person, 90 years, Mahasweta Devi. You must be knowing this name. You must have heard about this person. She passed away today, right? And she was suffering from this kidney failure, and she's no more. This is Mahasweta Devi, right? And our condolences to the family, and let her soul be rest in peace. So few details with respect to Mahasweta Devi. You may please have a look at this. Today only she passed away in the afternoon. She was 90. She has won both Sahitya Academy and also Gnanpith Awards for literary excellence. She is also the recipient of the Raman Magsaysay Award in the year 1977. She also won Padma Shri, and later in the year 2006, she also won the Padma Vibhushan. Padma Vibhushan is the second highest civilian award in India. First being the Bharat Ratna. Clear? So kindly remember Mahasweta Devi. She is no more. India lost one great personality. So, with tributes to Mahasweta Devi today, we'll stop the session now. And I thank you one and all for being with me this evening. Take very good care of yourself and see you in the next class. Good night.